zuva kuvira pasina mushumo kumuvera mangwana nikakutsvaga mushumo kare kare kuringe zviraka mushumo uchagarika mwanawe aiwe uchagarika mwanawe aiwe uchagarika mwanawe aiwe uchagarika mwanawe
Conversations in 2026. Thank you. And you know, I'm seeing a lot of new faces, and that brings me so much joy because when we started this journey last year, we weren't just looking into having an event. We weren't just looking into hosting something successful and fun, no. We were looking into building a community, and that is exactly what we have done. So to see new people coming in, joining into this community makes us very, very happy. So welcome to you all, and we are really happy to have you here. My name is Leanne Chimbira. When I'm not here hosting, I am a physiotherapist, yes. I'm wearing scrubs, Crocs, baggy t-shirts, everything that doesn't look like what I currently look like. So you may actually walk past me on a normal 8 to 5 during the week. I am a twin mom, happily married, and I've evolved my business just from physiotherapy to wellness. So we do corporate wellness, we do individual wellness. We have a center, a wellness center, Redefined Wellness Co. in Chisipiti. So the topic today is thrive. Don't just survive 2026. So are you one that sets audacious goals, or are you one that swims towards your milestones slowly? So do you jump into the deep end and learn to swim there, or rather are you one that actually sets manageable goals? Which one are you? Do you know? Do you jump into the deep end, or do you set manageable goals? Some of us jump into the deep end and we learn when we're inside, right? The reason we want everybody to thrive this year is because last year, a lot happened. A lot of companies, a lot of us barely survived. We just got through, right? So we have a community. We have created this community to lift each other up, to take each other a step forward. Hence, we call it a cultured republic. We have 2 very amazing conversation leaders lined up here for us. I cannot wait personally to hear from them. I always say 10 minutes is never enough. But before we get to them, perhaps we can get to know each other a little bit more. We're going to play a small game, rather an icebreaker. It's called Surviving versus Thriving. And I will start. So, sorry about that. Okay. It's not on. I think it was muted against it. Okay, sorry about that. So let's all think about the last 6 to 12 months, if we can backdate. It wasn't too far, right? Let's all think about the last 6 to 12 months and think about you can give me one example of how you survived, what situation, what event you survived, and what situation or event you've been thriving at or you had started thriving at. So if I pass on the mic to you, please introduce yourself and you can tell us what you survived in 2025 and what you had just began or you are thriving at. I will start. 2025, I survived going to work. I survived going to work to my own business. Yes, something that once gave me so much joy, all of a sudden was giving me a lot of anxiety because of what I would call a partnership that was no longer working. And this was a partnership that lasted for 8 years. So it wasn't easy to come out of. It wasn't easy to walk out of. So it gave me anxiety. Every day I had to go to work, but I had to survive the year. And I started thriving end of the year when I finally made that call to walk away. Yes. It's not always easy to rebrand, to walk away, but I will tell you something. Most of the people that gave me that soft landing are in this room. Some I met during the course of the 2025 episodes. Some I already knew. So that's how I survived 2025, and I'm currently thriving 2026 with my new business. I'm going to pass over the microphone. I will choose whoever. You introduce yourself, you say what you're saying, and then you also pass it on to the next person. Hello.
I knew I was going into the deep end. I know absolutely no one here. My name is Tristan. I actually think, Leanne, I got your number from a guy called Tafadzwa Chimaniwa. So I saw your cocktails and conversations popping up every now and then. And then I'd met once Ignatius, and we had an interesting discussion. And when I put the topic up of thriving, audacious goals versus manageable, it was exactly what we're going through personally right now. So I thought it was a great time. I'll try to reach out to him at some stage. It was a great time to just come throw myself in the deep end, introduce myself. For 2025, we in our company had a loss of control in the HR department, and we hired massively. We peaked at 2,200 employees, and it was actually out of control. And what happened was the board decided to restructure. So I was put into a survival of dismissing what ultimately ended up over 1,000 people. It was by far the hardest thing I've personally gone through. It rivaled deaths of family members. And yet we ended the year coming close to the 2,000 mark again. So I think that shows the thriving aspect of it. The business had to cut back. We managed to do it, and in turn rehired some people that were let go, and ultimately thrived undeniably through the year 25. Thank you.
Thank you for swimming in the deep end. I like what you said about, you came, also you wanted to speak to Mr. Audacious Munengwa. And you know what? It happens a lot, right? We do want to see these big people we look up to, but sometimes it's not always so easy. So one thing we realized is when we brought them here to Cultured Republic, to Cocktails and Conversations, we opened that door and that opportunity for those people that also want to have one-on-ones and take it further from there. Who should I pass on the microphone to? Anyone? Okay, let me go to this side of the room. New faces, we love new faces. Okay, I'm coming for you.
I should have worn a different color. Hi, everyone. Such a pleasure to be here. Hopefully, I'll be able to talk to most of you before I leave. My name is Danai Madondo. I am a fashion creative and cultural producer. And how I survived year one, last year, 2025. Whew. I think 2025 for me was a year of acceleration. But what I realized is that when you're getting accelerated to a new level comes a lot of challenges. And I think the challenges that I faced, funnily enough, similar to yourself, is partnership challenges. I think it's one of those growth hurdles that I think you often have to go through when you are growing in your, I guess, your professional journey. So I survived that. I survived my dad passing away while still trying to put together a new business, a new opportunity. It felt as though as I'm getting accelerated, everything is getting thrown at me at the same time. I call it my furnace year. I was in the furnace in 2025, but I survived it. I came up on top. I came out more self-assured, more confident. I learned about setting healthy professional boundaries, which were very important for me as a yes person. So matter of fact, this year is my no year. Learning to set no, learning to set healthy boundaries, and thriving. What's the last question? I think I'm thriving in character, to be honest. I think that's the most important thing to me, is that this year I feel so confident. I'm not fully aware of what this year holds, but I just have this sense that things are gonna work together. I feel like now I have grown in terms of setting structures within my business. As a creative, we usually don't have that foundation. And actually, that's why I'm here, trying to meet more people outside of the creative sphere, connect with accountants, lawyers, doctors, creatives, actually chefs. People don't actually realize in our industry that we need these connections to grow and flourish. So that's why I'm here.
Lovely. And you know what? When we look at somebody from the outside, we never know what they're going through. I was excited to see you. You didn't know me today, but I'm like, listen, I was at the Zim fashion show last year, and I saw her what do you call it? Your brand, the House of Stone, and you are doing very well. And thank you for mentioning a chef. I don't think we've had a chef here before, have we? So here we go.
Hello, everyone. I've actually been here before. Sorry, guys. And this is my second one. Let's start with survival. My name is Gracia Vute, and I am a self-trained chef that specializes in traditional cuisine. And I think my passion is basically creating, number one, an identity for gastronomy on the global map. And this includes bringing international vloggers. And just so you know, I did something crazy with iShow Speed at the beginning of the year. So I think that was one thing, at least for me, that I would say surviving meant last year was a bit difficult because you have to deal with other things that sometimes have other people already taking charge of them, even if they're not doing it as well. So I think when it comes to culture in Zimbabwe, as an example, there's probably already pioneers for that. But for our generation, there might not be enough justice. And I tend to fight those things a lot. And I think that's what I was fighting in 2020. So 2026, I was asked to do something crazy, and I did something crazy. So I think when it comes to business, as she was talking about in the creative space, I feel like with cooking, it's just not cooking itself. You're creating experiences, which also has to do a lot with being creative. And I mean, for myself, as somebody that puts up a show when it comes to culture, I put a lot of creativity in what I do. But a lot that was missing is structure as well. I mean, running the business sometimes can be taking out of the business into your pocket and vice versa. And I feel like it's a bit challenging when you don't have anyone really showing you the ropes of how to do that. And maybe what you're trying to do has not been done before. So it's a bit difficult. But in 2026, I want to open up to coming outside more and meeting people, because I think that's like really a big challenge for me, and it was a big challenge as well in 2025. And this is my second time coming here, and I feel like if it's your first time, you're going to have a great time. You're going to meet people, and it's not going to be as hard as it seems. Just smile and say your name. Thank you.
Thank you so much, audacious chef. Who here remembers what she did? The crazy something she's talking about. Please, can we have a tester as well? Not just I show speed, we are also interested, right? People talk about the first mover advantage, but like you're saying, there's also the disadvantages, or rather the setbacks that comes with being a first mover. I will pass on the microphone to a gentleman in this corner, and this is the last opinion we'll get.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Makwara. Last year, the one thing I struggled with, essentially, I'm a young entrepreneur, and I was handed a business during a downtrend of the markets, essentially. So I literally was trying to figure out how to run a business, and also you're struggling to pay your bills and rent and everything. But we managed to figure that out now, and right now we're on the right track to hopefully double what we did last year. So then we're gonna figure that out, yeah.
All the best. Okay, so with that in mind, please allow me to introduce our first conversation leader. We call them conversation leaders because we believe everyone here can take part in the conversation. Your opinions are welcome after he is done. He is Mr. Ignatius Munengwa, visionary builder, dream architect, and nation shaper. Mr. Ignatius Munengwa is a Zimbabwean entrepreneur, strategist, and businessman whose life's work is devoted in unlocking Africa's true potential through purpose-driven innovation, education, and identity restoration. Known as the Dream Builder, he empowers individuals and institutions to reconnect with their divine assignment, harness local potential, and build legacies that serve generations. His initiatives span business consultancy, youth empowerment, and the creation of frameworks that blend ancient wisdom with strategy. A global traveler and seeker of truth, Ignatius speaks with a depth rooted in lived experience, kingdom alignment, and unwavering clarity of vision. He lives and leads by the mantra, dream big, start small, finish strong. Please help me welcome Mr. Ignatius Munengwa.
Right. Good evening to you all. It's an absolute honor to be here. I want to thank the hosts for inviting me. If you didn't know, this is actually a global trend. Meeting in bars, having some cocktails, and I say bars loosely. I know some of you, no, this is not what I'm talking about. But it's a global trend that people are no longer lecturing in lecture theaters. It's called sip and chat. But I'm going to get straight into it. When I got the topic about audacious goals and how to manage milestones, I kind of reflected, and I want to talk through two issues tonight. I want to talk about a word called alignment, and I'm going to talk about a word called adaptability. So a lot of us, when we think about audacious goals, we think about how big is your dream, right? What are you going to achieve? There's some people who want to win the lotto. And I'll give a very practical example. Did you know that when someone wins the lotto and wins $10 million, it's been proven that within 2 years, that person is as poor, if not poorer than they were before they won the money. Do you know that? And I started asking myself the question, why would that be? A lot of you have set goals for yourself. You've set goals for your companies. And a lot of you are like that lottery winner. You've got big, audacious goals, but you've got no capacity. You don't have capacity to contain the wealth, to contain the responsibility, to contain the vision. So what ends up happening is our audacious goals, we self-sabotage ourselves. We do not have alignment. It is not okay for you to write a goal to do something that you're not willing to pay a price for. When a lot of you studied for your degrees or you studied for your A-levels or whatever, we kind of had that focus. We knew we had to pay the price. What tends to happen to a lot of us is when we finish and we walk into this world called life, we're not told what curriculum to take anymore. We're now in a deep ocean, and this is where alignment comes in. Why do you want that goal? You see, so many of you have what I call trauma goals. They're not aligned. They are there because you do not love yourself enough to know that you are complete as an individual. So you think the latest car is going to make you whole. You think $1 million is going to make you whole. You think, I don't know what you think. And I remember, I think it was Will Smith who said, I wish everybody could get what they said their goal was, to realize that it's not going to make you happy. So my challenge to you as we talk about audacious goals is, my challenge to myself is, what am I called to do that can speak after I am gone? I know the topic is, what are you going to do in 2026? But the problem is, in Zimbabwe, we're in survival mode. And it's your choice. It's actually your choice. Some of you are saying, I don't know what the politics is going to be. I don't know where the rate's going to be. The rate's been very good. It's well behaved. I don't know what job market I'm going to get into. I don't know about my profession, my company. But what if I asked you to rest for a season and find a direction that is more permanent, a constant north, that you can declare for the next 50 years or 100 years? Many of us can't do that. We cannot envisage that long because we're worried about getting bread and butter on the table tomorrow. And that's why I worry about people who set goals every beginning of January. You cannot become what you have not changed within. So an audacious goals comes from an audacious spirit. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? What would you do? It's a question I need you to take home and answer for yourself. If you had all the money, all the resources, what would you do? Because actually all the limitations are in your mind. The government is not stopping you. The politicians and the laws are not stopping you. There are people who've challenged the law and won. They've changed and bent the law to their reality. The laws are made by human beings. So what's limiting you? My second issue is adaptability. So I said to some of my friends when we entered New Year, I said, I hope you have many problems this year. And I say, I pray a lot of problems for you. And they said, why are you cursing us? And I said, no. See, a lot of you don't realize that when you move from A-level to first degree to PhD, you actually are paying to solve more problems. You just don't look at it that way. But actually, the harder the tests, the more you get paid in life, right? So have you ever considered that there is a grace that you have because of the problems you face? I heard some people talk about some of their biggest trials last year. For all of those that shared, I want to tell you, Your true identity is revealed in the furnace. Some of you are tukuzive ipanapa until zvashata. You know what I'm saying? And as it relates to a company, as it relates to yourself, can you be honest with yourself in this year when you go through the fire? Because the fire is trying to tell you that although you've set this audacious goal, there is a gap in the capacity. That's why life gives you a feedback and says you are struggling here. And until you are honest with yourself, you're not going to change. Every year you're going to set the same goal. Every year you're going to say, the devil, Satan is after me. Mepo, zakaipa. And I'm like, no. When they say count it all joy when you face trials and tribulations, because out of it, creates perfection, long suffering, endurance. One of the things for an ambitious goal is ability to endure. To have the fruits of the Holy Spirit, as I can go a little bit religious there. The fruits can only come from fire. So you can't contain an ambitious goal without passing the test. So I wish you many problems in 2026. No. Understand what I'm saying? I'm not cursing you. I think, the good book says, he will never test you beyond what you can endure. It means if the test has found you, if the problem has found you, it means you have the ability to pass. So why are you complaining? The examiner has set the exam. They say you're a PhD level and you say, no, I only want O level. 2026, leave me at O level. These problems are too big for me. But then how can you enjoy the fruits of the milk and honey where you want to go if you refuse the test? You can't. Out of that failure, I am a richer and better human being. Do not look at your failures. When I look at milestones, sometimes we're focusing on habits that don't actually align with who you are. Some of us have to die. Literally be honest with ourselves and say, I have this problem. I don't keep time. I procrastinate. And if you don't change those habits, we'll be here next year and you'll be speaking the same thing next year and saying, no, devil, leave me alone. No, it's not an external factor that's affecting you. It's you. Until you own your success and own your failure, you cannot blame anyone for the destination you're going to end up being. I have an audacious goal that I want to share today. I have a vision to build a city. I am building a city, 800 hectares. It has never existed before. I visualize myself at the city. As I've done that, people are beginning to come to me because I put it out there. I'm securing the land as we speak, and all the relevant partners are coming into play purely because I set an audacious goal. But I knew I don't have the capacity, right? But I see it. The substance of things hoped for, I see it. I live it. I'm telling my family, hey, can you see there's going to be a university here? Can you see a mall here? Can you see a park here? It's real for me. But I also have the milestones. I must now build the daily routines, the weekly routines for me to see that dream through. That's what I've got time for today. I hope that's impacted you in some way. I want to thank the host for having me. For 2026, as I often say, dream big, start small, and always finish strong. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Asking for myself, are you taking partners for this city that you're building? Because I'm sure they all have the same question, how can we take part and be involved?
At the moment, I'm still in early days, but I think at the right time, I'll be able to start finding partners. Yeah, so it's just something that I wanted to say out by faith. It's actually a challenge for me to say your goal out loud. It's also something I wanted to give you as an example. Because a lot of you have goals that you're too scared to say because you're not aligned truly to them. You don't believe them, so you don't tell people. So I challenge myself to actually live what I'm saying today.
Okay, everyone. Do we have any questions, add-ons, opinions? That side. Okay.
Well, I've got two questions. The first one is, are you George Munengwa's brother? Okay. All right. The second one is very simple as well. Why do you want to build a city?
So a bit of background. Zimbabwe has a 1.5 million backlog for housing shortage, if you didn't know. So the inspiration came from my dad. My dad worked for city council for 44 years. And I got the opportunity to see, I've also dabbled a bit in property development. And this is me wanting to leave a legacy beyond my own life by creating a vision that will outlive me, but that's excellent. So at the moment, I am working with some people from China in terms of planning. There's some cities in China, Xiamen, which has built the size of Harare and Chitungwiza in a period of 18 months, off-grid, with complete smart city. So those are some of the, for me, I want to build an asset for Zimbabwe that will speak long after I'm gone.
Hi, good evening. I'll just introduce myself real quick before I ask my question. I'm Samantha Sitole. I have a PhD in environmental sciences, and I work with stakeholders. I work with different types of people from community level to government to international level. And one thing I've realized in my work is that people can have audacious goals, as you've said, which are very important, especially if you live a purpose-driven life. However, there are times when we have challenges, say in Zimbabwe, economic challenges that may inhibit our ability to see the goal that we have actually come to fruition. What do you say to those people who have those goals like yourself, but may not have the social capital to be able to achieve, or they have family who do not support their dreams because they cannot see the vision as clearly as they do? And we know community is important, especially when it comes to vision and audacious faith like you have. Like a city, that's amazing. But I assume you have a family that supports you. You have a background and education that supports that vision. What if you don't have that? What do you say to those people who need that extra motivation? And I say that because we watched, I think many of you would have seen the interview of our great boxer who doesn't identify as Zimbabwean anymore. And he's disowned his family because he didn't have that support, but he was successful anyway. And it's really unfortunate. But a lot of people face those challenges today. What do you say to that? Thank you.
Thank you. I hope I've understood your question. But let me answer it this way. I'll answer it in twofold, okay? In business, excuse me, every person with a big goal is going to have a season of separation. Not every dream is going to be understood. And I think one of the hardest tests for people with big dreams is that journey, where you have to anchor the effort, the perseverance beyond acceptance from people. Because a lot of people, we want to be accepted, right? We want to keep the connection, right? But if your dream is a soul contract, it's one of the words I love using, you are signed to that from birth, it's a price you're going to have to pay, number one. Number two, for corporates, there's a saying that says culture eats strategy for breakfast. What they're saying is, no matter how great your goal is, If your culture is not one of life-giving, excuse me, if your culture is not one of enabling communication and growth, and I'm the chief and I'm the boss and my idea wins, no matter what your strategy is, the people you surround yourself with need to embody a value system that makes you achieve. I use the example of Jesus. I don't want to be religious or spiritual, but can you imagine a man who wanted to leave a legacy that we still speak of today? The first thing he did is he went to select 12 people before he started. Just think about that. His big dream, his first mission was to get the right people on his side. A lot of us don't realize the importance of the people that surround us, especially on our big dreams. There will always be the Judases. That's going to happen. But you've got to pursue and have the right people. So who are you walking with? Because Jesus, like our boxer friend, at times also disowned his family in a way and said, hey guys, you're not special just because I'm from your family. This vision I have is bigger than blood. And I'm not agreeing or disagreeing with what he's doing. That's his journey, timber. But I am saying every vision is going to be tested for loneliness and for culture. What team are you building with? Because if you've got the wrong team, I don't care how big your vision is. If the culture is wrong, you can go for strategy session after strategy session. You're not going to go anywhere. Get the right people on the bus. Then you decide where you want to go. Jesus got the right people on the bus first. I don't know how he selected his 12 disciples, but you've got to be very selective. And they're not going to be perfect, but they're going to be loyal to the vision. And that's different. Some of us are carrying dead weight and wondering why year after year, some of the friends you have, I'm sorry to tell you, they're dead weight. But you want to be accepted, right? You don't want the discomfort of having a lonely season to suffer now, but to enjoy something later. We don't want to pay that price. So we give up our soul contract for comfort. I'd rather be comfortable in 2026 than have a 6 to 9 month, 1 year lonely or alone period where I'm refined in the fire to have the capacity to contain what I carry. I'd rather have 1 year alone and be refined, be misunderstood, be told this man is crazy because I'm high on my city dream. And guys are saying in Zimbabwe, how? I'm okay. It's not for you to understand. It's my mission. I don't need you to buy into it. I don't even need you to understand it. It's my letter, my assignment. So you can criticize me all you want. But if it's mine and I've been given it, I don't need you to tell me yes you can or no you can't. But that's why I say alignment. How strong do you carry what you have? That when someone says you can't do it, you're like, yeah, sorry, I can't. It was never yours. Yeah, thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole. Just to add on, as someone that experienced what you just described, I'm in broadcasting. I've been in broadcasting for about 8 years now. Didn't make it until year 6. And I was told by my parents, my friends, everyone just kept saying, oh, you need to quit because this is not paying. You can't, you're not self-sufficient. But I just kept on. And the one thing that I realized within that journey was choosing discipline over motivation, not relying on other people to tell me that you'll make it, but just deciding for myself what I want to do and sticking to the goal.
Can I just share a story of someone very topical right now? I Show Speed, right? We've all been following him, done an amazing job for Africa. At age 15, he speaks to his mother. He says, I want to do streaming. The mother says, oh, my dead body, you're not going to do this, you're in school. Talks to the father. He turns 18, he complies. He turns 18, he continues streaming. At 18, the mother says to him, get out of my house or go back to school. He packs his bags and leaves his home. You guys don't know the side of his story. Starts off streaming with 2 or 3 followers. The rest is history. He's 20, turning 21. He is the world's, he turned 21, eh? He is the Africa's best streamer, the world's streamer. Can you see the test of loneliness? can you see how your closest people are the ones, just like Jesus, you're not going to die. Just like if you read Henry Ford, his board told him, you're crazy to want to build cars. Walt Disney, he said, you're crazy to build Disney. And he said, build it and they will come. There is a loneliness you must experience before you get into your promised land. Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking our last question.
Hi. I think there's a lot of what you've been saying that I do agree with and a lot that I don't agree with. I think there's also the element that we have to understand that aptitude and lack of aptitude and heavy delusion is also a problem. And a lot of people can be in that kind of space. If you think too big, you can actually fail because your dreams are too big. And I think an area that you did not touch on enough is the fact that what do you do for yourself in terms of upskilling yourself, in terms of learning, in terms of, as you said, even though that thing about networking, creating your partnerships, et cetera, these are very important things. If you've got your big audacious goals, if you've got those, you need to actually realize that how am I investing in myself and building myself and not just having these wild goals, because big wild goals are actually what causes failure. There's what is referred to as stretch goals. And so a stretch goal is something that is just outside of reach. And that, I think, is where people should always be. You must always live in the stage of a stretch. Because a stretch, you know, if you just put in that more effort, you could reach it. And then you push it again further. But if you start telling yourself that, oh, I can become the king of Zimbabwe, and you've got zero aptitude, zero anything, but it's a wildly audacious dream. And that is a lot of the problems that you find, is that people, and especially with entrepreneurs, you'll have these brilliant ideas that, oh, I'm going to become a millionaire, I'm going to start this massive business, et cetera, but you don't have the education, you don't have the skills, you don't have the network. And these are the kind of things that I think are more important to build. Have a dream that is a stretch to you, not too far out of the realm so that you can work on it. So I've just got like, it is a conversation. I don't have to always agree with everyone. Cheers.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Precious. I'm a sales marketing. I listen to the radio a lot. I'm a fan. You are the Minister of Mexico, so I know you very well. Yeah, Prime Minister, yes. I would like to disagree with my brother. So I will tell you something. It's a life story that I heard from my father-in-law. So my father-in-law was born in Mondoro, grew up Kumusha, heading cattle, you know, the story. But he had a big dream. Then he came to Harare. He heard of Mr. Machipisa. He's like, I like this guy, and I'm going to be as big as this guy. So my father-in-law didn't go to school. Literally, he didn't. But he had a dream that he's going to be as big as Mr. Machipisa. He's going to have shops. I'm going to have a motel and everything. And right now, if you go to Chegutu, there's a motel called TP Rukao Motel. That's my father-in-law. He's got shops, he's got beer halls, he's got everything, but he did not go to school. So sometimes this audacious dream, it has to come from within, and it will come right. I am also a living example. So when I was in A-level, I did not pass. I actually had 3 passes. I think 3 passes is 3 E's. My parents were devastated because I was supposed to go to Australia for university, but I didn't manage to go. I told my mom, you know what, Mom? I'm going to be called a dog. And my mom says, I know you will do it. Right now, I am studying for my PhD with Chinhoyi University, I can do it. So these audacious dreams, you need to have them. No matter what it's not about the education, it's about the drive. I really don't know how to explain it, but I believe in these things because I am an example as well. So yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Thank you for that. And I will hand over the mic for you to wrap up. Thank you.
Yeah, I think maybe my closing remarks are, I'm going to give some takeaways for you on the topic of alignment, something that I found worked for me. If you analyze your day, if you analyze your week, if you analyze a month and a year, how much time do you set aside for yourself? I'm just asking. You are this amazing human being, amazing life, and we are glued to our phones, glued to distractions. I go for counseling. One of the best things I advise many people to do, personal development. I have a counselor that I speak to about me, my issues, where I'm at. And about 6 months ago, my counselor challenged me and said, can you dedicate an hour a day for you? No phone. Just dream, write, reflect. No phone. Take a walk. Do something that re-energizes you and brings alignment. Some people call it quiet time, whatever you want to call it. A lot of us are missing the divine in us and why we're called to be here, because we're too distracted to listen to us, the inner you. How are you going to dream when you're polluting yourself with stuff? So as I close my closing remarks, my challenge for you, you can start with 30 minutes. I have found it, tunoseka ma Japanese, tunoseka ma Chinese, tunoseka some of these different religious beliefs that encompass an alignment that allows you to tap into something bigger than the natural. I'm challenging you to do that. As I close my talk for today, there's more to you than what meets the eye. Far more. A lot of you think life is measured in dollars and cents. It's not. We are connected to something so, just think about it. There is no lack of energy, guys. The sun shines every day. Isusu ndistrukutadza ku capture energy. There's no lack of oxygen. Oxygen. We live in a space called abundance, but yet we live with limited, poverty-stricken minds because we haven't connected to a source that, when I say audacious dreams, no eye has seen, no ear has heard what's in store for you. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Munengwa. And remember, guys, this year we are not just surviving, we are going to thrive in 2026. Before we introduce our next conversation leader, I'm going to allow everybody to top up their drinks and network a little bit. And please promise me that when I come back to, kill the moment, everybody will just, work with me so that we can move forward with our program. So let's top up our drinks. We are, after all, at Cocktails and Conversations at Enga by Upstate. Thank you.
Ujagali Chakarika mwana. Aiwa utakarika mwanawe. Utakarika mwanawe. Aiwa utakarika mwanawe.
To ruin the fun just a little bit, we will definitely have another networking session after our second conversation leader. Shama? Okay, has everybody topped up their glass? Yes? No, some glasses look empty, some are full of ice. Okay. So raise your glass if you've been in survival mode longer than you'd like to admit. Raise your glass. So we are surviving, aren't we? Raise your glass if you look put together, but inside you've been figuring life out. Did you hear that? Yes, you did. Okay. Raise your glass if you're proud of yourself for not giving up. I could raise 2 glasses for this one. And finally, raise your glass if you're ready to stop surviving and start thriving. So we are after all choosing to thrive in 2026, whether it's emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and socially. And on that note, let's welcome our second conversation leader, Mrs. Gloria Zvaravanhu. She is the managing director of Old Mutual. She's the managing director of Old Mutual Insurance Zimbabwe, bringing over 20 years of corporate leadership experience. A chartered accountant with an MSc in business psychology, a master's degree in leadership and international business law, and a certified leadership coach. Gloria identifies as a multidisciplinary global leader and has served on multi-sector local boards as well. Sector boards as well as international boards. Special mention to her roles of being an advisory board of International Federation of Accountants, an audit committee chairman of a JSC and LSC listed mining conglomerate, and a board of United Nations Environmental Programs Principles for Sustainable Insurance, where she represents Africa and the Middle East. I know, right? She champions leadership development and mentorship, inspiring others to thrive and reach audacious goals. Please help me welcome Gloria Zvaravanhu.
Wow, listening to that intro, you almost think it's not you, right? But it really is a function of setting audacious goals before. So I'm one of those people that when I was 20 or from the age of 20, I would sit down with myself and my iPad and I would say, what do I want it to look like in the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? And I must say that when I look back at those goals that I set, at those milestones that I set, a lot of them I ticked them off. So it really does pay. All right, so what the short introduction didn't tell you about me is that I'm really obsessed about how things connect, the interconnectedness of things. I'm very obsessed about how small things can become big things if connected together. So this congregation, this conversation, you might think it's small, but there's so many things that can come out of it. There's so many things that are connected through relationships, through engaging, through conversation. I'm a systems thinker. I love systems. My training is I'm a CA, so that's what we are taught to do. That's why you see me reading off my notes, because I never want to miss a thing. That's how I think. I also believe that we are a function of the systems that we put together, and that we rise and fall on the strength of our systems. I love reading. There's a book that I brought just to prove that I'm walking in the spirit, because this is a book that my friend who's over there, she has a gifted. Well, she didn't give me, she lent me, right? Or she borrowed me. In December. It's called Thrive by Ariana Huffington. Those of you who are in media who would know her. And so it's very much aligned to what we're talking about here. So it's nice to know that I can actually also share a little bit about what I picked from there. I'm very much legacy-minded. I really believe in what you leave behind, in the trail that you create. I don't just believe in success, I believe in significance. And I'm hoping that as we set our goals and as we also manage those goals, that we are focusing not just on the things that we're achieving, but on who we are becoming and who people will remember when you've long left. So I love the theme for this year, Thrive, Don't Just Survive in 2026. And today's conversation around audacious goals or manageable milestones. I think it's an and rather, because you can have audacious goals that you manage through manageable actions. And I think, Ignatius, you've done an amazing job in just 2 key items, just broken down this for us that is doable, that we can set big, scary goals and still be able to achieve them. So I've just come up with, because I'm a systems thinker, right? So I came up with 8 nuggets that I'm going to share with you, and I'm hoping that I'm going to stick to the 10 minutes as much as possible. So to start with, raise your glasses if you've ever said to yourself, let me just get through this week. So many, right? So surviving asks, how do I get through this year? And thriving says, how do I grow through this year? So that's the difference. And that's what we want to try and differentiate here, but also make sure that we're on the right side, not on the surviving, but on the thriving. So growth doesn't happen by accident. As I said, my profile, yes, might not be as big as it should be, but it is never by accident. It was not by accident. Everything there was planned. So it's by planning rhythms and building those rhythms. And rhythms can be habits, systems, and so on. So let's set those audacious goals. But one of the most, okay, all right. Let's set those audacious goals. But one of the most powerful ways to create a rhythm for your growth is to set something that stretches you. By definition, an audacious goal is something that forces you to become someone you've never been before, something that actually changes you. Something that is bold, is daring, and I know my brother over there is. I'm glad he's on the phone, because he doesn't believe that we should overstretch ourselves, but you can. So it can be small lifestyle changes, like I want to speak up more. I want to become more visible at work. It can be audacious for somebody, because if they were not that, and they are changing to become more visible, that's quite audacious. Or launching a side project, or taking control of your finances. Maybe before you were just floating, you'd find yourself with no money or too much money and don't know what to do, but now you are planning your finances. You set that as a goal, that I'm going to be more intentional about how I spend my money. So if achieving the goal doesn't change you, it's probably not big enough. I believe that audacious doesn't mean it's impossible. It doesn't mean that you're setting things that are too impractical to achieve. It means you can't stay the same. I think if you just put that benchmark for yourself that says, whatever I'm setting, whether it's for a 3-year, 5-year timeline, I must change. I must become. It's a becoming story. So, raise your glasses again. How many of you want 2026 to be better than 2025? Of course, everybody. So the real question is this: is it going to be different by hope, or is it going to be different? Is that dream of making 2026 better than 2025 going to be driven by hope, faith, everything else, or you're going to design? And now when we're going into the design space, we're now talking about rhythm. You need to design a rhythm that makes sure that you win. So goals set direction, but the rhythm creates the progress that you need. So becoming, for instance, you want to say, I want to write a book. That's a goal. But you can set a rhythm that says, I write every Saturday for 20 minutes. That's a rhythm that you create. And by the end of the year, you will have a book. But if you stop at writing a book as a goal on its own, you may not get there because you don't have the rhythm that is getting you to become. So motivation, and I think you did speak a bit, Ignatius, about motivation. It starts things. Motivational speakers are amazing because they ignite, but it mustn't stop there. Rhythm has to sustain that. So once you've been motivated, inspired, you need to go back and set the rhythms, which is the habits, which is the systems. And as I go, I'm now saying, once you know that you need to set a rhythm, you need now to set an identity. It becomes, what do I want to be? What do I want to become? I want to become a writer. I want to become this and that. So once you know the identity that you want to try and build, then some of the things start coming naturally to you. You start doing things naturally that require you to achieve that goal. By show of your glasses again, how many has set goals at the beginning of the year, like we are in January now, and by March, life had other plans for you? Or by 27 January, the life had other plans for you? Quite a bit of us. So the most powerful goal you can set is the person you want to become. When identity shifts, then the behavior follows. So you actually need to shift things. They're not going to happen simply because you want. So if you want to get fit, you might want to say, I'm becoming someone who doesn't miss workouts. There's a difference. You want to become fit, but the rhythm is you're not going to miss workouts. Simple as that. I want to grow my career. That can be your goal. But I'm becoming someone who shows up prepared, visible, and valuable. That can still make sure that you grow your career. But it's a rhythm now. It's a becoming. It's an identity that you can start aligning yourself to. And your behaviors will follow that. So make those identities stick as well. You need to make them stick. How do you make them? Those are the habits. You make them stick through habits. And you don't have to fix your whole life in January. I think that's what we usually do, right? Everybody wants to lose 20 kgs in January. Everybody wants to get a new job in January. Everything must happen in January, no? But I think let's just focus on making sure that we have the rhythm that is practical, that also spreads through the year so that you have milestones. So January can be your health reset, as it is for most of us. March can be a skills upgrade. You're going to enroll for something. July can be you're going to focus on relationships, and so on and so forth. And also set some non-negotiables, whether they are weekly. There's certain things that you say, I cannot negotiate on this. You know, you can just say, I network, I reach out every week. I reach out to at least one person. Jabu is here. We set some non-negotiables in my office that says, every week I must at least meet 2 people, business providers or people that will give me business. It's non-negotiable in our calendar. I must meet them. And it's between Jabi and I to make sure that that happens. It's non-negotiable. So you have to. So we could have set a goal that says, look, we want to develop business. We want to get new customers and stop there. But we created a rhythm and we made the rhythm stick or the habit stick. And also, quarterly courage as well. I think a comfortable year really becomes a memorable year. A comfortable year really becomes a memorable year. I think this is where we were talking about discomfort and pain and where Ignatius was wishing us many problems. Because a comfortable year really becomes a memorable one. So there will be problems. You will face challenges along the way, but it's just to know that discomfort is the area where you can give birth to things. So there's stretching there that needs to happen. If nothing you're doing doesn't scare you a little, you're probably playing too small as well. You have to have some level of fear of doing the things that you want to do, a level of fear of becoming the person that you're saying you want to become. I'm almost coming to an end. Plan to suit your life seasons as well. I think this is where practicality comes in. Yes, we want to be audacious, but we must also be mindful of the seasons in our lives that we're in. If you're a new mother, it's not wise to also plan certain things that you know you're not going to be able to do because you've got a young child. If you're in a new job, you might not be able to plan to go on those holidays. You might not have that many leave days. So you want to be practical in the things that you're doing and look at your seasons. Which season of my life am I at? Am I at the starting stage? Am I at the growth stage? Am I at the stabilizing stage? Am I self-actualizing? And then when you set your goals, they are aligned. Then it's practical and easier. By show of glasses, how many of you have ever ended a year feeling exhausted but not really fulfilled? Very exhausted, but not fulfilled. Again, a lot of us, yeah. That there differentiates what surviving a year and thriving a year is. I mean, if you are exhausted and you're not fulfilled, that's you barely survived. But we want to move away from ending the year on a survival, not on we don't want to be exhausted at the end of it. We want to be fulfilled. That's the thing that we are looking for. So thriving is not about doing the most. It's about doing what matters most in your season. And I've mentioned that you must be very mindful about the season that you're in. Your rhythm should stretch you. But as my brother was correcting, I can't see him anymore. I think he's walked out. But it shouldn't break. You're here, yeah. So it should stretch you, but it shouldn't break you. And it should also be practical. The second last nugget I have for you is energize yourself. So to sustain any rhythm, any habit, any system, you need energy. It's a non-negotiable. And in most times we think that we energize ourselves as a reward, that I've worked so hard, I deserve to take a break. But actually, more often than not, you need the energy before you start the task. So find outlets, find things that energize you, things that you enjoy doing, that gets you the energy. The right people around you, they are energy sappers. Yeah, we were told to let go of some of the people that we spend our time with. But there are also people that energize us, that inspire, motivate. Spend a time with those people. Energy, protect your energy as well. It's valuable. It's your most valuable resource when it comes to thriving or surviving. When you fall off track, and this is my favorite, get back quickly. Why is it my favorite? Because you will fall off track. Things are never going to go the way you think they're going to go. But you still need to arrive at destination, at the becoming, at that space that you say you want to be. So I've got a few things. Plan for failure before it happens. I'm a risk manager, so you would know this. Plan for failure before it happens. Why? Because when you plan for it, you've got a backup plan. You've got controls to make sure it doesn't happen because you've thought about it. So just don't just go and think that it's just going to happen. It might not happen, and plan for it. Make never twice your golden rule. So don't repeat mistakes twice. The same thing. I mean, the first missing once is okay, it's part of life. But if you're missing twice now, you're making this a habit. You're forming a pattern. So try to avoid repeating the same mistakes. Shrink the restart. Shrink it. What it means is quickly get up. Shrink it. Don't, when we fall, at times we tend to think, I've fallen off, I need to restart big. Which is why in January, gym subscriptions everyone is going to the gym, everyone is running 10 kilometers. You want to go big when you restart. But sometimes all you need to do is to quickly come back even small. Because it's the habit and the rhythm that you want to bring back. So if you failed to go to the gym today and you wanted to go, just take 5 minutes to do something in the house, squats or something. It will make you feel a little better that you have done something. So in closing, and also, by the way, remove the shame spiral. Sometimes we feel ashamed. I'm not good enough. I wish I could have chosen something that is easier to do. I failed. I might as well stop. We need to stop that shame spiral, and start thinking, I slipped because I'm human, but I'm going to be back, right? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back, right? And language shift is very important. Don't say to yourself, I'm undisciplined. I can't get this right. Rather say, I'm learning to be consistent. Let me reset. Be kind. Kind to yourself. Kind to yourself. So how you talk to yourself after a miss often determines whether you miss again. So in closing, so as we step into 2026, here's my challenge to you. Don't just aim to survive, aim to thrive. Pick that one audacious goal. Don't make them too many. Something that stretches you and changes who you become. And build simple weekly, daily, monthly rhythms that support that goal. And take a quarterly courage move. One bold step each season that pushes you out of your comfort zone. So the last one, raise your glasses if you're ready to make 2026 a year of thriving. Cheers and all the best, everybody. Thank you.
We're now taking questions. Where do we start? Okay. I have Percy here.
Hi, everybody. How are you guys doing? So my question, I heard once you read, what you've done, that's an incredible list. And I'm inspired. It shows me that also I can. But I'm sure you've stepped into rooms where, you've been in rooms normally where men have had control over those certain job positions. And you've stepped in these rooms. As a woman, we are women, but there's so many women here that are stepping into rooms that normally men has had that type of control, and we're trying to be bold and we're trying to take charge, still be in our femininity. Like, how have you done that? Can you just give us insight into being where you are now? So I know you've encountered such rooms, and how did you navigate that?
Thank you for the question. So I've been in rooms where I've been a minority, whether it's age, whether it's gender, whether it's race. I've been in such rooms. What I can say to you is that I think you need to just focus on yourself and what you bring to the table, value. Because if you focus on the people that are around you and whether they're accepting you or not, you're not going to get anywhere, because they're also looking at you and seeing what are you bringing to the table. So focus on self and say, I'm here. The fact that I'm here, that's already an achievement. And because I'm here, I'm going to show them that what I'm made of. So for me, that has always been my focus. I must demonstrate that I deserve to be in the space that I'm in.
Anyone else? I thought there was someone. Okay, there you go. Thank you so much. You're an incredible speaker and your story is very inspiring. I just wanted to draw on the point of shame that you spoke about. What practical steps can you give people who are going through that cycle of shame because they failed, they've been challenged, or maybe they've lacked support and they're just trying to get out of that hole? It's a difficult hole to get in. And the Bible says that shame precedes honor. But sometimes it's difficult to see where that honor is going to come from when you're dealing with shame because it's such an insidious poison, if you can say it like that. Thank you.
Yeah, so I've been in the space, where you feel shame because you didn't manage to achieve something. I think one thing that helped me there was seeking the necessary support. Sometimes we just keep digging the hole, and don't have anyone to talk to. You need to find people that you trust. Some call them the vulnerability circle, some call them their personal board of directors, some may call them their mentors, whatever it is that you call them, never walk alone. Liverpool, huh? I am not. I actually am not. But never walk alone. Have that vulnerability circle and seek help, seek therapy, seek whatever it is that you need to seek because you're important. And so you need that self-care and you need people around you to help you. Yeah. Don't suffer alone.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So I wanted to come back to the point that you said you were talking about being realistic in your audacious goals, and you gave the example of maybe you're a young mother. So let's say let's say you're young in your profession. You're probably one of the youngest people in the room, in any room that you're in, but you're in a very, so to say, big position. How do you go about setting your audacious goals? You're still trying to find your feet and everything. Your responsibilities are big, but you want to make goals and you want to put your imprint without stepping on anybody's toes, because I think in the workspace, for me, it's a hospital. Being female, being young, at the same time, you want to be trendy. So there's a lot.
So I like that you touched on age because for a very long time I was very scared to grow up because I'm one of those people that became an executive when I was very young. 26, I was already a finance director. And I took pride in the fact that in most rooms I was the youngest. But it was a superpower for me. It actually powered me to say, if I'm here and I'm this age, I'm unstoppable. So I didn't worry about whether there was so much to be done and that I needed to prove myself. I felt like I'd already proven myself. So unlike the thinking that you have, for me it was already a superpower. It was something that propelled me. So which is why I was so scared, particularly when I turned 40. I was like, oh my goodness, that superpower is going to go away. But yeah, obviously other things come. So age should never be, in fact, if you have age on your side and you've achieved the things that you've achieved, it shows that you've got so much potential. Believe more in yourself than ever before.
Hi, Gloria. I knew about you before we met today. My question is, as a managing director, also I'm a corporate matchmaker. I basically help people find jobs and I help organizations find top talent. As an MD, I know you constantly are approached by job seekers. If you were to give a job seeker 60 seconds to talk about themselves so that you can mention them in rooms where they are not, what would you like them to say to you?
What a tough one, right? In 60 seconds. It's almost like what's their elevator pitch kind of story. I think what is important is to talk about, I think you need to express your passion for something. So you don't okay. Yeah, it's coming. So I think it's the demonstration of passion and energy and the ability to want something so badly. So I don't think it's so much what they would say. It's important what they would say because they will say something about themselves. But I think it's more how they say it with the passion. For me, I think that's what sells it. You would find that you may have two people who are qualified in the same disciplines, but how someone comes across the passion that they have shows you the potential and how far they can go. You would know this better, but that's what I believe. So when I'm biased towards someone who shows more passion than someone who is a bit more relaxed about themselves.
Thank you. Lovely to see you again, Madam Gloria. I think the first time I saw you was at the Kensha Business School Masterclass, and I did challenge you a little bit on something that I needed. I think today my question really is on, when we're talking about goals and setting an identity, I think I'm going to speak on myself. I am a chef, but I think that title has grown bigger than I imagined because some of the things that have now made my identity are things I didn't plan for. So what do you do in cases where it's as if opportunities are choosing you, but it wasn't really your path? As an example, I mean, we keep talking about how I was making cow balls for iShow Speed. That was not something I planned, but it's a moment I was chosen for. And based off of that one moment, I can't lie to you, so many other opportunities are now coming to me, and it always redirects me, and I don't know how to plan for that. Like, it's always a challenge for me because I know the end goal. I really want to be an ambassador for gastronomy in Zimbabwe. That is where I want to be. I'm taking steps towards that, but at the same time, it's like a big pool of random things that seem like they align with what I want to do, but I don't know how exactly to create a rhythm when it comes to that. I mean, my last year was a bit difficult because I'm also into a project for women in rural homes that are doing clay pot initiatives now, and we are making clay pots and we're selling clay pots right now. And I think based off of that, I'm already curating an African cultural village, which in somewhat way aligns with everything, but it's just like so many random dots that are everywhere, and I'm failing to understand how do I create a routine, a rhythm that at least doesn't overwhelm me, because I think that's my challenge right now.
Well done for the wonderful opportunities that come your way. I feel like, wow. One thing about goal setting and about becoming that I found is that you have to look a distance further. You have to look maybe 10 years, 20, or you have to even look and say, when I'm gone, what do I want to be remembered for? And you actually have to go to the detail of planning to say, what are the things that I like being aligned with? And what are the things that I never want to be aligned with? And what are the things that if I come across them, these are things that will help me get to destination. Why I'm saying this is there's the danger of also doing everything and then still not being able to get to where you want to get. And doing amazing things, by the way. You do exciting things for that season, and then still you're off track in terms of what you wanted to do. Or maybe it could well be that you're being called to a certain area that you thought was not your area. You felt this was the area, but certain things are still being, opportunities are coming your way that are leading you a different direction. So you need to think very hard. Are these distractions? And distractions are not always evil and bad, eh? They can be fun and interesting, but they can still distract you from goal. So I think you always need to be mindful. So again, I always say that you need to have, sorry, I don't know if you're going to love me or hate me for this, but you need to have a strategy document for yourself, for your life, which says from your value system, which says from the things that you will do and the things that you don't do, and the things that you would consider, the places that you would like to be seen, the brand that you want, because then that will define you They will define your yeses and your nos, because not everything should also be a yes. And there are some no's that we are saying no's that shouldn't be no's, because we are not clear that they can get us to where we want to get. So I think it's a lot of defining that you need. And if you see that you are being taken away from that thing that you think you're aiming for, maybe it's time to talk to Ignatius and have a prayer, and then look at whether you're in the right path as far as a calling is concerned. I hope I answered you.
Okay, thank you so much. So please tell me, what is your day like? I'm just imagining the day in the life of an MD of Old Mutual.
My day is it's very systematic. I said I'm a systems person, so my day is it's very choreographed, and I've got good people that I work with, Jabu in particular, I work with. So our day is things to do, the things we plan, the week, the month. I think our month is done, February is done, March. So it's a lot of doing things that you've already thought about. It's like we're just leaving them out. Obviously, there'll be random things that come. But in the main, if you know, because those random things can be distractions as well. So you almost want to know the things that you're doing. So it's a lot of planning for the day, because if you don't, you can end up in Bindura. You can end up in Rusape in the one day. So it's a lot of the planning that happens before, and then we just toe the line as far as the plan is concerned.
I like that, because I think most of us are still caught in planning the day before, and a lot of things crop up and you can't even, you go with it because you're thinking it was so much time in your schedule. So got a lot of take homes from you. Thank you. So please help me. There's people that brought their business cards here today, people that mean business, people that want to thrive in 2026. And please pick one. This person gets to walk away with a bottle of wine courtesy of Denga by Upstate.
Yolanda Muyambo.
She left. Okay, so do we pick another one, I think?
Zeka Msawenkosi from Akribos. I don't know, maybe we didn't pronounce well. Do I get the honor of presenting the wine?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I didn't expect to tell the crowd Awenkosi Zeka. So I'm an investment banker. So I help you make money. I help you make money. If you want to find out how, then we can always have a chat about it. But in investment banking, we pool funds and we then invest it in different investment vehicles for the purpose of meeting a person's return objectives so that they can meet their life's demands or what they want to achieve in the future or whatever it is they've stated in life. So that's what we do as investment bankers. So if you need any more information, we are here to chat. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You may go ahead and you want to say something?
Yes. So I love giving credit where I feel I need to give credit. And I want to believe the reason why I was invited here is because of the man that is behind there, Zam. She was my boss for many years. So he recruited me into this role. So for him to be referring me around, He was the board chairman of Old Mutual Insurance Company for what, 15 years? You served on the board for about 15 years. And so this is the thing. These are the things that we need in life, right? If your ex-boss who recruited you thinks you're the thing and they keep referring you, that's the biggest thumbs up anyone needs in life. And thanks to Wimbo and Tim and everybody for this. I didn't know great things can happen in bars. They do.
Now you know why men prefer meeting over a drink, but the ladies have joined in, right? Thank you so much for that, Gloria. I'd like to present another bottle of wine courtesy of Nenga by Upstate to the person that arrived first today, and that was Samantha Sitole.
Hi everybody, I wasn't expecting this. I actually arrived on time because, fun fact, I lived in Switzerland for 5 years and they're always on time. If you're late by 15 minutes, it's like an insult. So, okay, I am a doctor of environmental science. I've worked with NGOs, I've worked with policymakers, grassroots level communities. And at the moment, I'm actually currently looking for new opportunities in this space. I love communicating with different types of people. I think I'm a people magnet. And I love people. And it's something that I've grown to explore and experience. And because I've lived abroad and met different types of people, I think that's what I'm drawn to bringing people into spaces and learning about them and connecting them. But right now I'm doing it obviously in my space of profession, the environmental sector. I was working with wetland management and the COP15 just finished. So yeah, but this is such an exciting opportunity. I didn't know it was the first one. Thank you so much. And thank you to the wonderful speakers. Y'all are very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha. Please don't forget to follow our social media pages. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Please follow Cultured Republic so that you're always updated on every event that we host. Please remember we have these every last Tuesday of the month. Bring a friend next time. You are now part of the community, and we're very, very excited to network, to get to know each and every one of you. Thank you, and the floor is officially open to networking. Enjoy. Oh yes, sorry, please do get pictures taken. We do have outside, our photographers are here for that. Please get some pictures taken. I know some of you haven't been to any photo shoot in a long time. This is an opportunity, I think. All right, thank you. Enjoy.
Drops my
Just say thanks a lot. Anyway, this. Thank you.
Oh. All right. Show. Sam. So, Ghana, Sam. Elis will say. It's a go. Hey, Elis, it's a go. Yeah, it's a go. It's a go. Sam. Sam been talking. Chup. And I call him up put in the way to us as well. Chup,
Hello everyone, my name is Nicole Jamu, also known as Queen Nicole. I'm a radio and TV broadcaster with the Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation, and I'm here tonight at the Conversations and Cocktails event that is hosted by Cultural Republic, and I cannot emphasize enough that this has been a life-changing experience for me. Contrary to what many people believe, they think that if you're in media it means you're a very social person. I'm very socially awkward, but I will say this for sure. My first time coming to Conversations and Cocktails, I was a bit like laid back, but now I've learned like networking, I've learned people skills, I've learned how to communicate more. It's helped me in my personal life, it's helped me with like my personal projects that I'm doing, including my podcast, which is the Shio Agenda podcast. So if you are watching this is a call to action and an encouragement for you to join us in the next one. I promise you it's going to be fun. It happens every last Tuesday of every month at Upstate by Lenga. So make sure that you join us every single month. It's not going to let you down. You will have a good time, and most importantly, you'll have the good networks that you need in your phone book.
Hi, my name is Samantha Sitole. I'm a doctor of environmental science, and I've just attended my first Cocktails and Conversation evening, and I won a bottle of wine because I was the first to arrive. So previously I lived in Switzerland for about 5 years, and there I learned the culture of being on time. I could literally time my day around the trains. And so it allowed me to learn how to be on time to spaces, and I actually didn't realize I was the first one here, but this was so nice. So the work that I do is around stakeholder management and engagement in the environmental sector. I love working with people, and I thought this event would be a great way to, harness new opportunities, meet new people, and to learn about what's happening in Zimbabwe and in the sector that I'm in. And on top of that, I won. So it's been such a great evening. I would encourage everyone to join these events. If you're looking for opportunities, if you're looking to network, or if you're just looking for something to inspire you, and if you want to thrive in 2026, this is it. Come to one of these Conversations and Cocktails, and trust me, you'll get something out of it. Thank you.